Welcome to the Gazette's Business Spotlight On series, presented by True North Companies. Today's series focuses on community commitment.
Hello, welcome to this installment of the Gazette Spotlight on Community Commitment, where we highlight businesses and leaders in the corridor and talk to them about the successes and challenges they've seen in the past year. My name is Michaela Ram. I'm a reporter for the Gazette, and I will be leading today's conversation. With me today is Angelica Vannatta with the United Way of East Central Iowa. She will be here today telling us about the Workplace Volunteer Council, which aims to engage more local employees in volunteerism. Welcome, Angelica.
Thank you.
Well, tell us about the Workplace Volunteer Council. What is it, and specifically, how does it work?
Absolutely. So many United Ways across our network do manage their own local workplace volunteer councils. Each of them are uniquely positioned to address specific needs in their respective communities. Our particular Workplace Volunteer Council in East Central Iowa was launched about 10 years ago. We had the support of 6 of our local founding partners who really helped invest some financial resources and volunteer time to get the Workplace Volunteer Council up off the ground. And as you mentioned, our goal with the council is really to promote and foster a culture of employee volunteerism, and ultimately just to unite our collective community actions to help meet some of the critical needs of our communities.
Okay, so it sounds like it's not specifically unique to Cedar Rapids, but is there anything about Cedar Rapids Council that makes it unique?
Again, I think that each council takes a deeper look at what those needs are in their specific community and just making sure that we're aligning our membership and our education and all of our programming around those needs. So again, across the state, there's a lot of those different workplace volunteer councils, but each of them operate autonomously and focused on their specific areas.
Oh, very cool. Okay. So to get into the nitty gritty a little bit, so what does the council actually do? Is it client facing? Is it more helping volunteers within their own companies? Like what kind of the logistics of it?
Yeah, so it's really both a cohort of what we call at the ready volunteers. I had just had a request from one of our partner agencies to help with moving of items. And so I can just reach out specifically to the Workplace Volunteer Council cohort and say, hey, we need about 4 or 5 volunteers and a box truck who's able to come and help out. And then it's really a group of member organizations who are either developing employee volunteer programs or they want to sustain existing programs with up-to-date best practices, tools, and resources. So it's really a combination of both of those things. I mentioned briefly that we have quarterly member meetings, and we also coordinate those employee volunteer projects. And there is an opportunity to network with other individuals and learn from your peers and share those best practices. We actually just had a session earlier today where the topic was celebrating volunteers so that they will continue to stay engaged with your organization. There was a lot of great idea sharing back and forth and the opportunity to ask some deeper questions. So if someone started a leadership luncheon to recognize volunteers, you can ask them what that process was like. So again, it's really just this opportunity to information exchange and share with companies tools and resources to help them keep their employee volunteer programs successful.
Very cool. Okay. So could you tell us a little bit more about who its members are? Who are these volunteers that we're talking about?
Yeah, so they are organizations in our local community. Our United Way primarily serves, the Cedar Rapids metro area, but we absolutely have companies and nonprofit organizations that we support throughout our 5 counties, and that includes Benton, Cedar, Lynn, Jones, and Iowa County. So they're organizations from those areas, and that's small companies to larger well-established companies that have thousands of employees, and we will allow one membership per company, but you can have up to 5 employees from that member organization actively participating in our quarterly meetings, networking opportunities, and then of course, if they want to help facilitate a specific volunteer project, certainly we could have more employees from their organization participate in volunteer projects. But yeah, so it's really just organizations that believe that volunteerism is essential to the well-being of our community.
Okay, absolutely. And as you said earlier, networking is a big part of this council as well, networking amongst these companies and these volunteers. Do you have particular successes from this networking aspect of the council, or really kind of how it fits well into this structure?
Yeah, so well, a couple of years ago, we started to do an annual speed networking event with our nonprofit agencies. So it's kind of a volunteer fair, and participants or members of the Workplace Volunteer Council get the chance to meet up to 10 different nonprofit organizations and learn about their specific needs. This past year, we focused on some of those smaller grassroots nonprofit organizations. So the success there is there are some organizations that aren't as well known. And so just getting them the volunteer human capital assistance that they need is really incredible. And then last year, we really wanted to focus on agencies that provided programming for diverse or underrepresented communities too. So again, just trying to make sure that the volunteer and the support that we give in the community is also equitable and inclusive too. So yeah, and then, just getting a chance to learn from each other during our our quarterly education sessions, and then during those volunteer projects.
Absolutely. This is great. My next question was actually about this educational programming that you just mentioned. So what does that entail? What does that really look like?
Yeah, so there's really 3 sort of different efforts. And first and foremost, we educate and inform our coalition or council members through those quarterly meetings on a variety of topics. Then we'll also provide one-on-one assistance for organizations who are establishing programs. We developed our own toolkit at our United Way of East Central Iowa. So maybe that's a unique thing that we did because that was volunteers from the local community that developed this toolkit based on their own personal successes within their organization. And then within our steering committee, we also provide mentorship to organizations that are starting to establish those programs. So, having a one-on-one consultation with advisory council members has been a really great way to educate people who are looking to establish those programs. And then the last way that we educate our membership is just through a resource library that's located on our website. It is a member-only portal. It includes a lot of the previous meeting presentations and a curated list of articles, other toolkits from different organizations, and then just a variety of different helpful sites.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps as a final pitch to the viewers here, why should I or my employer look to join the Workplace Volunteer Council? Why should we consider that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been proven that there really is a powerful relationship between volunteer activities that are associated with your employer and employee engagement. The retention is better, the recruitment is better. Those that are just now entering the workforce really value community engagement and, making a deep impact, the places that they, live, work, and play. And so, being a part of the Workplace Volunteer Council helps mobilize your volunteers just by making you more aware of what the need is and making a really deep impact. Certainly, it also helps your employees gain a lot of soft skills, management, communication, increased teamwork skills, and that sort of thing. And our Workplace Volunteer Council really just helps convene, connect, and collaborate all of our community partners in truly a meaningful and thoughtful way around employee engagement.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Angelica, to talk to us about the Workplace Volunteer Council.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
For access to all of the Gazette Spotlight Business Series, visit thegazette.com/spotlight.